Welcome back to another episode of the Junk Monkeys podcast, baby. I'm your host, Randy McLeod, joined by Noah Garbutt.
Hello.
And Bradley Gertzen.
Let's go.
And today, we got a real fun one for you guys. We're talking about sports. And I figured that'd be a fun little, let's talk about some sports stories. Noah and I, not really athletes anymore. Brad, all-star athlete, volleyball player.
All-star, he says.
Absolutely.
Our resident athletic person.
Yeah.
It's funny because we always talk about video games and stuff like that. So we'd be like, sports.
Yeah, right.
It's like we actually all used to do sports.
Hey, it's pretty crazy. So yeah, that's going to be our episode today. So strap in and take a listen to this episode of the Junk Monkeys podcast. Oh, thank God we can breathe again.
Why do we hold our breath?
I don't know. It's a really bad
section?
idea. Yeah, it's really bad idea.
Oh my God, we're idiots.
We should find if there's a way that we can just end our sentence and then just fill it with empty space.
Instead of just holding our breath.
Through editing or something,
Yeah, we should probably do that instead. It would make more sense.
Yeah.
I wonder, because getting up makes too much noise, so maybe we could edit it out. So we don't have to sit here and hold our breath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's we'll have to look into that.
Yeah, totally. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Just a few things I want to get out of the way immediately before we start doing Sports Center with ESPN's Bradley Gertzen, First of all, obviously a lot of people probably saw, but we hit 1,000 views on that channel, baby.
Let's go.
And guess what? We're at 340 on Spotify.
Let's
so
go.
that means we're at 1340 total.
1340.
Damn.
That's pretty good.
That's actually that's a lot. Man.
I feel like it's a lot harder to be seen on Spotify.
Yeah, I think so. I think people just love YouTube a lot more. So, and you know what? The stats are a lot easier to find on YouTube than Spotify. So keep them coming on YouTube. I don't care about followers on Spotify. I don't give a shit.
I care about followers on YouTube though.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't want to get shot with a baseball gun.
I have to start looking into that.
And speaking of Brad, we got 38 subscribers now.
Okay,
we got 2 more.
Okay, close.
So. I mean, 2 more and we hit 40. We got to keep hitting that goal that.
Start posting things in the mall or something.
You might have to do that.
That's what I've been saying. We just make flyers and post them at school or something.
Just ask places to sponsor us, please.
Please. We need this. So yeah, obviously, thank you very much. You can go check out the thank you video on the channel to a more in-depth little thank you video.
Also, our first video.
Yeah.
If you didn't even think about
Technically,
that.
yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't even think of that.
Video, yeah.
I should have fucking did something with my hair. I don't know. And then don't forget that we are taking questions for the upcoming anniversary episode, baby. Submit them to the Junk Monkeys on Twitter or in the comment section below. Or you might follow me on social media if you're listening to this, so you can just send it to me.
Or just run it into us. We can just write it down too.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll have to see if are we allowed to be absolutely plastered when we do this?
Not in this booth.
Drinks aren't supposed to be in here.
Not in this booth. We're not doing it in this booth.
What if
I got a plan.
Okay.
What if we just drink outside and then walk in?
You just hear the door open every 20 seconds for somebody to go drink.
I just gotta use the bathroom, man. I'll be right back. But yeah, so that's coming up this month. Actually, we're already in October.
That's hype.
Oh,
that's pretty crazy. Gentlemen, I don't want to talk about stats. I don't want to talk about view counts. No.
That's a joke. Who cares about that?
What I want to talk about is sports stats. Think about it.
Yeah.
Sports. All right.
Wow.
Yeah, this is my opening argument. No, I just figured it'd be cool because it's such a general topic that it is something that everybody can relate to.
Oh, for sure.
Everybody, I guarantee everybody in elementary school played a sport, whether it was gym class, whether it was extracurricular, whether it was
hot dog tag only, man.
Hot dog tag.
Huh?
You guys never played hot dog tag?
No.
Are you shitting my dick right now?
I can't say I am.
Oh my God. Is that one where you were there was 2 people lying beside each other and then someone lied down beside the other person and then whoever was in the middle, who was the hot dog, had to get up. And it was musical chairs.
Okay, I vaguely remember that.
Okay.
I vaguely remember
that.
Raptor
tag?
Raptor tag.
Raptor tag is ringing a bell for me.
Okay, yeah.
Couldn't tell you any of the rules.
Okay, I'll just say grounders. You guys will know that.
Oh, I know. Great.
Okay,
Come on.
Okay.
Is tag a sport? Do you think that's a professional thing?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, obviously everybody's played tag. I'm playing with your cord. That's my bad.
Oh, Randy.
Duh. So what I figured would be fun is let's go around the room. Let's talk about which sports were pretty impactful to us and which sports did not click with us at all, and just go through our histories with sports. Brad is clearly who I centered this episode around, so I'm going to start with Noah.
Okay.
Okay.
Was that a left field?
Yeah, don't worry about it, man. Keep on your toes. You got come to play, just like sports.
Just like sports.
No, what'd you play growing up?
What did I play? Okay, so growing up, my dad was a huge sports guy when he was a kid and growing up and everything. Like he was absolutely insane at hockey. Like he almost went professional, but went like he was playing up in the Northwest Territories and everything.
Shit, we're getting lore dump on Noah's dad.
Lore dump.
But while he was like traveling around and stuff, he got super homesick.
Yeah.
So he went home, and then that year, that's when they had like a scout and everything looking at the team, and they actually took some people from that team to go play over in Europe, and my dad wasn't there when the scout was there.
No.
But like he was always outperforming people that were older than him. Like growing up, he had 2 older brothers and 1 younger brother. So he was always competing with them constantly. And so like when he was growing up through like 13 and unders, 14 and unders, 17 unders, whatever, hockey leagues, he was always playing in a league above him. And if he was in his league, he would just dominate. So because of that, my dad obviously pushed us to do a lot of sports and everything.
Yeah.
So hockey was a huge one. Everybody learned how to skate. Everybody played hockey at some point. Baseball, like just classic ones.
Yeah.
And then while I was young, my mom was also a gym teacher at Vincent Massey here in Brandon.
Oh.
So through that, we were able to learn games like badminton, tennis. I feel like I'm missing one.
Pickleball.
No, didn't learn pickleball. But so like
so much.
But regardless, sports were always super big for us, and we were always in sports in winter. In summer, we were encouraged to do soccer, baseball, something like that.
Yeah.
But the biggest one was definitely hockey.
Yeah.
Being Canadian and everything.
Brandon's a hockey town.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah. But an issue with that kind of stunted how much I did hockey was growing up, I was a very small child.
Right.
I was super tiny. Lots of people hit their growth spurts and everything way before I did. So I was playing in leagues and stuff where people had like foot of height advantage and 50 extra pounds.
Yeah.
So going into making the change from rec league into like contact and everything was super jarring for me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have the body to keep up with anything like that. And when people hit me, I got hit hard. And
it's like that video of like the football players where like the little kids run
Yeah.
and everybody's like, woo, yeah, go buddy, go. And somebody just demolishes them.
No, that was me. I was the little kid. I didn't hit my growth spurt till super late, but it was already past the time where I was just out of it. Like I didn't want to compete because I couldn't compete. I had nothing that I could do. People were faster than me, they were heavier than me, they were stronger than me.
Yeah.
And then I hit my growth spurt, but at that time I just decided to stick with my local team, the Forest Kings.
Yeah.
Let's go
Shout
Forest
out.
Kings, baby.
Shout out.
Oh yeah. And it was just a rec league, and everybody on there I'd already played hockey with for years.
Yeah.
So it was just super great camaraderie and everything, and I just kind of stuck with that for maybe till I was like 16.
Yeah.
And then after that, it just kind of like fizzled out, and it was only left to sports through school.
Yeah.
And I would still compete in some sports through school. That's where I learned curling. Volleyball was another really big one that I did for a couple of years. So yeah, that's kind of it. It's very sporadic all around the place. I have played a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I mean, like that's kind of the grab bag nature of gym class, and
small towns, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely small towns is a thing.
There's always like there's like for Rivers, for example, there was like the soccer team, the volleyball team, the basketball team, the hockey team, of course. But like, yeah, I guess school just kind of wants to push you in each one and be like, hey, try it out, you know?
Oh yeah, and that's definitely the time to do it.
Yeah.
And there was definitely a lot of opportunities that I missed out on because I still had that precognition that if it was ever a physical thing that I wasn't going to do good in because of the hockey experience.
Yes. Yeah.
Even though I was still the same after my growth spurt and everything. I was on par with everybody else.
Mhm.
I still had that precognition that I
That you
couldn't
were gonna get demolished.
that I was going to get demolished, and that's
Yeah.
why I missed out on sports like rugby.
Mhm.
Everybody wanted me to play rugby, but I never wanted to.
I didn't know that was the reason why.
Yeah,
Huh.
that was why I was so against doing physical sports, because I just was stuck in that mentality that I was going to get demolished. That
That's
I
fascinating.
knew that, and there was nothing that was going to change it.
Huh. Because, like, yeah, obviously we would badger you and be like, oh, come on, no, it'll be fun. But, like, I never knew the reason.
Yeah,
Huh.
no, that was the reason.
That is interesting.
Learning something today.
Mm-hmm.
That is too bad that you missed out on something like that just because of that. Because I'm
Yeah.
sure you would have had fun.
Well, and I kind of had a second chance at it when went to New Zealand. Obviously, rugby is even bigger there.
Not sure if you've heard. Yep.
So I got to play touch rugby there with. I was working on a farm, and the farm owners were super close with their employees. So every Wednesday, I believe it was, we went to like just this touch league in the local town, and I got to play there, and that was super fun.
Oh, it's super, super fun.
And that's also where I got introduced to cricket,
Ooh.
which just like, obviously I don't know everything about cricket. I don't know all the rules and everything.
Mhm.
We just played beer league cricket, and holy fuck is that fun. It is such a simple concept once you get the idea of it,
Mhm.
but like,
Is cricket the one with the curved stick?
Yeah, and then the bowler who you have to bounce the ball. on
Yeah,
the pitch.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's big in India, right?
It's big, yeah.
it's
yeah.
big
yeah.
just about everywhere,
Which,
but North America.
Yeah.
I think the ball can go like anywhere too. It's just like a manage of someone catching the
it
ball.
has
You
to
stop.
it has to go into the pitch, and the idea of the bowler throwing the ball is that there's 3 pegs behind the batter,
Mhm.
and they're trying to knock over one of those pegs.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we definitely played that in some form of school. I can't remember if it was
I
elementary
think-
or high school.
I think it was
or-
elementary. Miss Hildebrand always
Uh,
ran that.
She did do something similar, except I think it was we didn't have the bat or anything, so it was like just like kickball.
No, yeah,
And if
yeah.
they hit the pegs behind you, then same thing.
Oh, it's not the curved stick. What am I thinking of?
No,
No, it is. Yeah.
It
Is
is.
it?
Yeah.
What's the one with the big paddle?
That's cricket.
Yeah.
Part of it is curved, but the other face of it is flat.
Like the back end of it's curved, and then it's flat on the front.
It's actually like a surprisingly heavy thing.
I'm gonna have to look this up.
it's cricket's crazy, man.
Yeah, cricket's crazy.
Dude, it's so
bro.
much fun. I want to get like a beach kit for cricket, because we did that while we were down there. Like, you just find like any flat patch of
Yeah.
anything, and you can just play it.
Cricket.
And
yeah.
oh my god, so much fun.
It is a neat sport.
Yeah.
It's weird how many sports there are out there that you just never even got introduced to because they're completely different cultures.
I'm totally thinking of something else.
What are you thinking of?
Yeah, what are
I
you
don't
thinking?
know, but there was a game. It's probably a form of field hockey, is what I'm thinking.
Are you thinking
It's like a literal
lacrosse?
cane. Like it's a cane that you would hold with your hand, but it's the other way around, where you're holding like the bottom of the cane regularly,
Yeah.
but then
Are you thinking like polo?
Shuffleboard?
a what?
Polo?
Polo? I don't think so.
Shuffleboard?
You know, no.
There's so many different things
Yeah, you
that
know what?
use that
Yeah.
general shape.
Well,
That's fair,
if you're listening to this and you know what I'm talking about, because I feel like I played this for sure. Maybe it was at sports camp. I can't remember. Anyway, that's crazy, man. You played a lot. Because I was making my list and I was like, man, I played more sports than I remember.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, just kind of going back on it, it's like I have experience in everything. I have a surface understanding of everything,
hmm
but I've never like pursued anything. The most I've pursued was definitely hockey.
Jack of
And
all
that
trades,
was
master of
and that
none.
was to rec league, and that was about it.
So in hockey, did you play novice or did you play what were there was bantam, there was
There was bantam and everything. I played in
or just a rec league?
most of my experience was in rec league, but
Yeah.
when I did go to contact, I believe it was novice or just below bantam. I can't remember
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I can't remember.
what the
I feel like I should
what
know, but I
the
don't.
name for it is. And I did that for 2 years before I went back to rec league.
So obviously a bit traumatic to be honest, going into something and then immediately getting just fucked. Like,
I
just
remember
getting dogged.
there was one time I got off the bench to like go for my shift
Mhm.
while the play was still happening, and just this giant 300-pound defenseman,
Nah,
as I
man.
was getting off, I was looking at the play and he came from behind, just rocked my shit.
Yep.
I fell on the ground and immediately went back on the bench.
Yeah.
Completely illegal, but yeah.
Well, no, like there was no fault by him. He was hustling to get to the play and everything.
Okay,
I
you
just
got
jumped
ran
out in
over.
front of him.
You just got
It was like a
ran
deer
over.
crossing the
Yeah,
headlight or
yeah.
highway.
Except I never got to see him coming.
You just got lit up. That is
Yeah.
tough.
But like, I totally know what you mean because I was a very small kid too. Like I was tiny.
Oh, same.
And yeah.
All
I think we
very
were all
small,
just
yeah.
tiny kids.
Yeah.
And not that I played any sport that was very like physical. Like I played hockey too, but it wasn't like.
You played rugby.
Yeah, eventually, but like as a kid,
Okay.
you know, like I was never. I was. Well, yeah, I was always fast. I was never big. You know what I mean? Like that was always something that I was able to like keep track or like to tout as like my like this is my thing that I bring to the sport is that I'm fast. You know. Meanwhile, other kids could just wreck people.
I remember you and I can't remember what game it was that we were playing, but we were like neck and neck running. This was in gym class.
Okay.
And
I don't remember this.
no, I can't remember exactly what sport it was.
Oh, running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was an actual sport, but
Okay.
we were both like running to some sort of objective.
Yeah.
And like, holy fuck, we were like neck and neck.
Just
Each one of
looking
us
over at
was
each other.
pulling ahead just barely.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the early stages of getting into contact sports
And I think that
can be
like
super impactful.
I think that sports growing up, like something as like simple as just not being as big as everybody else. Like for another example, I guess like just not being good at a sport can really put you off of playing other sports or continuing that sport.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you're not immediately good at the thing and then somebody else is really good at the thing and you're like, oh fuck, well I'm never going to get to that point.
That was another thing that still affects me is if I'm not immediately good at something and I
Yes.
see somebody else who has the same experience as I and is doing better, then that's a huge hit to my ego and everything. And
Yeah.
then that immediately paints whatever it is I'm doing in a negative light.
Yes, totally.
Through high school, that also affected me probably up until the last maybe year and a half of high school. In gym, even in gym, I had no confidence in myself for anything.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like the last year and a half that I was like, okay, no, I can compete. I can keep up.
I'm pretty good. I can do some bump.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Fucking love bump.
Love
Like,
bump.
Go
so
to
good.
good.
Oh my god. Best sport around. Brad, you're an athlete,
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I guess
Currently?
you can call me that.
current athlete.
Current athlete.
Tell
I
me about
suppose.
it. First of all, I want to ask, did you play hockey? Because I don't know this about you.
Yeah,
Yes, he
I
did.
played a lot of rec hockey. Kinda
Okay.
the same area that Noah did. I played with Noah a few times
Yep.
actually. But yeah, I was always like, I'd say I shined pretty well in rec. I had a lot of fun in rec. It was always more of a camaraderie thing for me though. Like any rec league, it's to hang out with the buddies, and then you go to play another team and you know them and they're yelling at you from the bench.
Yeah.
It's like I remember one time playing Alexander. Some guys I played rugby with was skating past the bench, and they would be like, "Look at that hottie," and I get whistled at or something shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's just fun or
Oh.
whatever, and no one really cares.
Rec league was just fun.
Oh yeah,
Like,
and then
there's
you'd go to
no-
tournaments and stuff.
There's tournaments and like there'll be some people that'll take it seriously, but majority of the people there are just there to have fun
A good time.
and not like worry about absolutely demolishing each other.
Yeah, and there's no contact, which takes the whole like big dog aspect out of hockey. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like a lot of hockey players, the people that take hockey seriously, have like such like a big dog, I'm gonna fuck some people up mentality, which you have to have in a regular hockey game. But in rec, it's just super chill, and you got to focus on just hanging out and trying to get a good pass out or deking some kids, and you know,
Our rec league was just beer league without the beer.
yeah, literally, yeah. It was fun. It was super fun.
Junior beer league.
Junior beer league.
Yeah.
Junior beer league,
Yeah.
pre-beer beer league,
Root beer league, huh?
Root beer league. That's a good one.
All right.
I remember in that rec league, even with other teams like Rapid City, we went to school with the people in Rapid City, so we knew them on the other team and everything.
Oh yeah.
But I remember there was one instance we were going against Rapid City, and they had some guy from Brandon out there because for some reason he wanted to drive all the way out to Rapid City to play rec league,
Yep.
and he took the game so seriously.
Ugh.
And this was in like my last couple years of rec league where I had the confidence in myself again, so that I was competing, and I was one of the more faster people on the ice at that point. And he got pissed at me for stealing the puck away from him.
Oh
I
no.
love when people get mad.
To the point where he, like, actually like cross-checked me from behind
No.
after a face-off, knocked me over and everything, and he then proceeded to get kicked off of his own team by his teammates.
Ooh.
Because they knew me and everything, and they're just like, no, fuck you fucked with our friend.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so just
Don't be a dickhead.
such good camaraderie in there.
Less ego, man. Just get the less ego.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, imagine being a league player coming down to a rec league, which is honestly, and everyone knows it's like this is such a like more of a less serious thing. Like these kids don't train for this all the time, and you're working your ass off, and then some random kid from a small town shits on you repeatedly.
This is the worst day of my life. Fuck that kid.
Yeah, no, you'll be on the ice just chatting with the other team.
Yeah.
Like,
Or just chirping each other at the face-off. It's so fun.
It's fun.
It is super fun. But yeah, rec league I guess was a big part of my childhood. I spent a lot of hours at the rink.
Yeah.
If I wasn't playing, I was volunteering, and I think it was the same thing with Noah's family. It was like always just involved in the rink and fall suppers or whatever we could get into.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess once I grew up, it was all high school sports like volleyball, basketball. Those were really the big ones. I guess I did track and stuff when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone ran when they were a kid. I think track was pretty.
Running is a pretty universal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was the same way, Randy, where I was a smaller, faster individual.
Yeah.
And then I guess I ran into rugby at a pretty early age with Michael. I would have ran into rugby once you guys started the team, basically.
Mm-hmm.
For more lore on our sports history, my brother Mike started and your guys' class kind of started the rugby team in Elton. And so I got introduced to him by that, and then I went to like a junior barbs thing in Brandon and kind of fell in love with it there. And I guess I'll just start with the rugby thing. It's not kind of what I'm playing now. I'm currently in volleyball. Shout out ACC Cougars.
Let's go.
Big tournament coming up, baby.
Big tournament, yeah. But in rugby, I guess I was younger when I started, and I started a lot earlier than a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a lot of practice in, and I was speedy, which was nice because it was when early ages when you're fast, it's like nobody is good at contact.
Yeah.
So I was like, if you're fast enough, it doesn't really matter.
There's no defense for speed.
No, there is no defense for speed.
Other than more speed.
Yeah, other than somebody else who's speedier.
Yeah, really. But I started off in like their little whatever you want to call like league in Brandon for kids, and just ran through that, and ended up getting an opportunity to go to like Kelowna, I think it was.
Right. I forgot about this.
Yeah. No, I went to Calgary my first year. So I was 14.
Right.
I was 14, and it was like U16 Team Manitoba, and I jumped on their squad. Just like, I think it was mostly just for exposure for me. I didn't get to play a whole lot because, again, I was tiny.
Yeah.
Especially compared to a lot of the guys there. That was really sprouted the same kind of fear that I think you ran into, Noah, where it's like, holy shit, I can get clapped.
That possibility is here.
Yeah, and of course it happened a few times. Of course I got tossed around, but I found I was shifty, and I think it's a lot easier on the rugby pitch than it is on the hockey ice to get out of the way, because like I could just pass the ball to someone else, or in the positions I was playing, I was never like a big physical area, so that was kind of nice. So I ended up playing up in Calgary, which was an awesome adventure for me, and then I went up to Kelowna for 2 years in a row, I guess.
Damn.
I don't know. Whenever I played through the whole 16U thing, and then COVID hit and kind of took away the 18U part of it.
This might be dumb. Kelowna's in BC, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Super beautiful.
Oh, man, I wish.
So dope.
I wish.
It was awesome. People just smoking weed everywhere. I was a kid.
Fuck
like,
yeah, man.
This shit's crazy, man. We went to a beach day there. We took a boat cruise. My mom came with us because she wanted to come on a vacation. I hung with the moms.
Nice.
She was buying me Coronas on the boat. Getting lit up. It was sick, man. It was awesome. And the elevation change. I was literally drank one Corona. I was like, I'm buzzed right now. This is good. Because it's crazy. I think it's a lot higher up there than it is here.
Yeah. I think like at the 40, the elevation's pretty high because I'll have one and I'm pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It was a wild experience, and I'm glad I got to go through it. And now I'm just playing on the men's team. I didn't play this year, but I'm going to be playing next year. I just kind of needed a break from rugby for a bit.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people I grew up with ended up playing, or I guess one of them, like a teammate of mine that was always on the team, is on Team Canada now, like Peyton.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then obviously Jordan I've seen around in camps and stuff like that, and she's often Jordan. Oh, it's a joke.
Oh.
Your sister, Randy.
Oh, right.
She's up in UBC, obviously.
Just a big win the other day. She was playing the Alberta Pandas.
Yeah, they see this shit on
Oh,
them.
my God.
Pandas?
Oh, my. No, I think it was like 71-14 or something like that.
Dog.
Oh, my
it was
God.
dangerous. Yeah, I saw that. I've been following the UBC because it's awesome to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess rugby was my main thing, and then I played just high school sports, and then after, I guess it would have been the year after high school, I got the opportunity to go out and play ACC Cougars volleyball, and I've kind of just been running with that. It's fun. I enjoy it. It's weird in a way because it feels like I almost felt like an outsider walking in because it was like I played all these sports my whole life, like hockey and rugby were my main ones. I was playing a shit ton of them, and I like knew the whole community. And then it's like I'm in volleyball for high school, really. Never really played any club. And then it was like I walked into a scene where I didn't recognize anyone.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It was in Brandon.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it's in Brandon. It's not small towns anymore, which was pretty crazy. And the one guy I did know on the team who played in Elton before got injured at the start, so he wasn't even playing with me most of the time.
Oh, shit.
Or sometimes he wasn't at practice, so it was kind of like a little... I don't know, it was a little different for me to try out and do, but it was fun. I'm enjoying ACC Cougars.
That's good.
I mean, I get to play volleyball, and it's definitely a lot of work. But
And sorry, this is your second year doing that?
that'll be my second year, and I'll be playing one more year, and then I'm all done with the volleyball.
Oh, shit.
And then it's cool, getting on trips.
Yeah.
Hanging with the boys. It's kind of gassed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. College sports are pretty cool, though. A lot of, literally 4 practices a week, though, and then there's schoolwork on top of it, and then there's this other stuff, and it's just...
I want to touch on that at some point, the combination of sports and school, and how, you're already stretched pretty thin with school.
And work.
Because you got to survive as well, right? You got to pay for shit. Yeah. Well, honestly, I want to get into that right now, then. Because,
Fucking let's do it, man.
Do you find yourself genuinely, stressed / overworked? Are you stretched too thin with all this shit?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like I burn myself out more often than I'd like to say so.
What takes the hit? Is it the sports that you start being like, fuck this? Or is it the school? Or is it just your hobby / work?
Definitely hobby / work, and definitely a touch of school. I can't deny it's not a little bit of the school. But obviously you got to grind through that with school. Especially because you're a student athlete. They always say student before athlete. It's okay, classic. Yeah, I guess I'll grind it out. And then it's tiring. It really is. But I mean, I always look forward to the sports. I definitely will have on the weekend, if I'm not doing something or not busy, I genuinely miss volleyball. Yeah. I generally miss competition. Is so much fun to me, and I have so much fun just getting out there and competing versus people who are most of them better than me, honestly, or on par with me. It's nice to see and go out there and just have something to work at. Period, all the time.
Yeah, just resistance.
Just to have that goal out there.
Yeah, and I think that physical goal is big for me because I've had that my whole life, and I know I'm going to miss that once it's gone. But I mean, eventually you just got to give it up, man. You can't be playing sports your whole life competitively unless you're a professional, which a lot of people don't get an opportunity to do.
Yeah, but there's also you can still have your forest rec leagues of
there's still beer leagues and stuff out there.
Yeah. I don't think it has the same amount of competitiveness that I like, but I mean, definitely will be. Obviously, I'll be playing rugby.
But I think
future.
I think people that have that drive or that competitive nature, like you, will find a way to find a competition to get into. You know what I mean?
Or just a place to put that energy.
Yeah,
for sure. I'm sure once I get out, I'll have way more time for hobbies that I'll think of. I'll find a hobby and I'll be like, I'm going to be the best at this. I'm going to grind it out, and it's going to be awesome. Yeah, and hopefully maybe one day that becomes a job like this. This will be awesome. Yeah. Content creation in general I've been looking at would be fun.
Could you imagine?
That'd be crazy.
Well, we need 2 more subscribers for that, so if you want to...
40 is the cap.
40 is the cap, bro.
Yeah, once we get 40 subscribers, then we can start getting paid for this.
Side note, did you know how much it actually takes to get monetization on YouTube?
How much?
100K?
1,000 subscribers.
1,000?
1,000. So we're on the way, baby.
I
thought it would have been higher.
Eventually one time, man.
Yep. You need 1,000 subs, and then, I think it's I don't know how many views, but you need a certain amount of views.
I've been looking at that. A lot of people who actually do this full time. For YouTube, it's usually they do 100K is usually around where people can be I'm gonna try this out full time, and even then it's probably living pretty bare bones at that point. But I mean, to follow the dream, I'll do anything.
Yeah. Yep. You got that competitive nature in you, man. And it applies to sports. It applies to anything you do.
I'm gonna start jumping into other podcasts and fighting them, fucking them up.
Take out
there
the competition.
Can be only one.
The competition. There's only one podcast we can't not win, you know? W zone.
I'm gonna talk about my sports.
Yes.
I'm gonna talk about
I
me.
would love to hear about them.
I don't know about you guys, but I like to talk about me. So obviously I also did hockey, and like I might not seem like the type to play hockey. I was a tiny little kid. You should have seen me. There's a picture.
Child.
Yeah, I was small.
Just a schmool.
Just a baby.
There's a picture of me. I think 2 of the Brandon Wheat Kings came to the Rivers rink, and like we took pictures or whatever, and just blonde as could be and short as fucking possible, man. I was a tiny little guy. That was around. I was playing novice, and I can't remember what. Well, like we didn't have the delineation between like rec league and whatever's after that. What do you call it? What's after rec league?
I don't. Beer league?
Novice?
No, sure.
Sure.
Well, novice was like still no contact.
So confused.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember any of the.
Yeah. So I was doing. I don't remember what grade I was in. Maybe grade 5, grade 6, maybe grade 4. I was young. I was really young.
Yeah.
So I was doing that, and I was never great at it. I just like skating around. I never learned how to stop. You know, I was always just like
the pizza thing when you put the foot together.
What I figured out my own strategy where I would go to the boards and either like slow myself down on that, or
like holding hand by
yeah,
hand. Okay,
yeah.
Awesome.
Or I would drag my toe and that would start to slow me down a bit.
Okay, yeah.
Just enough so that I could.
Oh, how randy.
Guy, you're about to notice as I talk about these sports is that I was never good at them. Like, I was typically pretty not great, but I was having a good enough time, you know, because like as a kid, you're expected to like sports, if that makes sense. Like
You're, like physical activity.
Yeah,
for some reason.
yeah. And like
I think it's because kids are just always seen with having so much energy.
Yeah.
And sports is such a good just outlet for it.
Totally. And I think that's exactly what happened, right? Like I wasn't good at hockey, but I had a good time. This was all my problem with sports growing up was I cried often. I was a sensitive ass kid. So if I fucked up or if I wasn't doing good, I would get frustrated and just start crying. And everybody would be like, "Oh, fucking Randy, come on, get back.
Randy, stop fucking
crying." So that followed me throughout like most of the sports growing up because it was hockey. I remember one really bad time where we would swap out goalies every match to like get everybody in the goal. So I was in goalie one time and they scored like fucking 15 goals on me because I was a small ass child that I didn't know how to play goalie. Yeah. And I think, slight tangent on that, I feel like maybe I was just not paying attention, but I feel like a lot of sports don't do a great job of being like, here's how you play. This is what, like, obviously every kid is different, so like a different strategy is required for each kid. But I think a lot of coaches growing up, for me at least, were like very much like, throw them in the deep end, let's get them moving, let's get them action, and like we'll do drills. But you're not explaining it to me. You're just you're showing me the motor functions, but you're not telling me why and how I'm supposed to use them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was something, and like obviously I loved my coaches growing up. Like I remember hockey was such a fantastic, like practice was so much fun. There was a great coach there that would like at the end of every practice he would race me. He'd like race me around the rink.
That's awesome.
And like we would just be like, I would always look forward to that because like my parents would be like, all right, it's time to go. It's like no, I have to race Mr. Anderson. You know, like
I'm about to shit on Mr. Anderson. Mom. Give me a second.
Give me 1 sec.
The gap.
He's like 6 foot. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like 2 foot tall. That was a little cannonball, man.
Just a little cannonball. Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, that was just my thing. Is like, another thing I did in school, at least in in school was soccer, which was extracurricular. Like we'd played it in school and like gym class, obviously.
Rivers
like,
was goated at soccer.
Oh,
Side
yeah.
Tangent? You
Yeah.
guys were fucking good.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was Forrest's worst sport. We sucked.
We had nowhere to like do soccer because it would always flood every year.
Literally, yeah. I remember I had to play a goalie one time, and we were playing Rivers, and we were literally about to tie them. 5 minutes left in the match. Some kid rolls up, boots the ball super hard, like a Skinner on the ground, and I dive and get it.
Yeah.
But I'm too skinny, so it went in between my elbow and my armpit, and in between. And it like trickled in. I've never been so more mad in my life, man.
Fuck Rivers.
Fuck Rivers, man. They're shit. The worst.
The worst. But like I played, so like obviously it would have been like, I don't know, kids soccer. Yeah. But and like you get your orange peels at the end of it, you know, like whatever.
No, we never We never had orange peels.
Oh, fucking
No one had it for us.
broke ass
Not a
fucking.
If you're broke, just say that.
Listen, our rink was reused from an old barn. Okay.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah.
I love that rink. I'm just gonna say it.
Oh
I
my
love
God,
that rink so
such
much.
a good rink.
It is a good one.
Honestly, at some point we gotta talk about rinks.
The best burgers ever.
Dude,
Oh.
goated burgers.
I think I have that somewhere, like on here. Yeah, hockey rink canteens. I want to talk about that at some point.
So good.
But like, yeah, like, so I did soccer, I did basketball. So hockey, soccer, and basketball for me. Those were the ones where like I got out there and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and I felt bad because I didn't know what I was doing. Therefore, I'd kind of like, I'd stress out or whatever, and I'd like freak out and I'd be like, I'm not doing this right, blah 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 blah, and like you get that in your head, like, oh fuck, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm letting the team down. I remember basketball was fucking awful because I didn't know what the fuck to do. Like,
I still don't.
Honestly, I hate when a sport limits you so much just because they want it to be different from another sport. Like basketball, you can only, what is it? You can only move as long as you dribble, but if you stop, but if you do stop, you can take one step, but you can't actually take more than one step. And it's just a whole like complicated thing that if you don't start with it pretty early on, you probably don't know what the fuck you're doing.
It's hard to grasp for sure.
So I don't know why I played basketball, you know? And same with soccer. Like I hate that, like, you have to have great footwork, obviously, and like great for kids that have great dexterity that. I was just a bumbling fool, you know, like I didn't know what I was doing, and
Just
then I
stumbling everywhere.
Yeah, and then I fuck up and I start crying, you know. So those were the three that really like stuck with me in terms of like hockey was fun, and like these obviously were a lot of like, well, maybe not basketball. I didn't like basketball, but I tried it, you know. And I think that's the important thing about sports is that like as long as you create an environment where it isn't the end all be all if you fuck up.
Yeah.
Like sports are so it's taken so seriously because it's a competition, right? And it makes sense.
Because parents can see how it becomes an income now.
Yes.
Instead of just like a thing. Like if you become really good at sports at an early age, you can go somewhere.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like there's like a competition side of it, but sometimes it's better to just not be a competition.
Honestly, like side tangent, I watched a movie called King Richard last night, and that was about the story about Venus and Serena Williams in tennis, and it talked about like it focused on their dad like teaching them and whatever. And he said that, or like in the movie, he was like, yeah, like these tennis players are getting like $40,000 for 3 days of work. So I realized I was in the wrong profession and I got to raise some tennis players or whatever.
Yeah.
And like that pressure, I hate sports pressure. I hate it so much. And that's probably why I'm not a super competitive person when it comes to it.
Well, and especially for putting pressure on a kid that doesn't fully understand.
Doesn't even get it, man.
No.
Or may not even want to do it. They don't know if they want to do it. They got to find that shit by themselves, you know?
Well, and parents do a lot to do that. Like, I think there's a story out there that, I think it was Michael Jordan's dad would, like, bought a basketball hoop and a basketball and, like, would shoot hoops and tell Michael Jordan he couldn't shoot hoops with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then so when he would leave, he would sneak outside and start shooting hoops to make
Oh.
him fall in love with it. And he said he did it on purpose. I was like, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That is genius.
It's also manipulative.
Oh, very manipulative, but
Yeah.
smart as fuck.
Yeah,
Like if
totally.
the kid's rebellious, then that's like a perfect way of like indirectly directing them.
Mm-hmm.
To put that energy somewhere, yeah.
It's like telling your kid, hey, you can't play video games. And then like 2 days later, the kid's like, I'm going to play some video games.
Oh, yeah.
Video games.
Yeah.
Next thing
Super,
there's a
just
COD
full of spite.
Yeah. I will spite you, Dad. To be honest, though, like the sports that I do enjoy weren't like the high energy, like running around at all times. It was more of the strategy ones,
okay.
you know? Like I loved curling growing up. I loved it so much. I loved going to other curling rinks. And like I think there's one in I can't remember what it's called. It's not Douglas. It's
I went to the Douglas one a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah, that was the one that I learned in.
it might have been Rapid City.
I
Or
think Rapid City has something there.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
they do.
Yeah. But like I love a rundown curling rink, and like Rivers had a fantastic curling rink.
Yeah.
It was old and it was home. Like I used to go there for weekends when there was Bonspiels or whatever, and I loved it. Like I'd be waiting for my turn to play, or maybe I was just there for my brother's Bonspiel or whatever, and just hanging out in the clubhouse. And somebody would have their Game Boy or whatever, and so we'd sit in the seats watching curling, but also playing Game Boy or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I think that and I know I'm going to get to all the sports I played, but I think that it's the in between of sports that's a really important thing, and is like the really fun this is where relationships are formed.
The community of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Making the friends, man.
Yes.
There's friends that I have from hockey that I still talk to today.
Absolutely.
Like, it's just like for ages you spent so many hours together in between tournaments where you made like forts or played mini sticks. Like it was fucking sick.
Yeah, and like it's that sense of like, hey, we're all here together. And, like, we're all kind of doing the same thing. We have that shared thing. It's like, I don't know, two people are in a car crash. They have that shared thing. I wouldn't compare sports to car crash.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
So, yeah, curling I adored. Like, and I think I was pretty good at it. I don't remember being, like, amazing at it, but I stuck with it because I wasn't, at no point did I feel like, I'm fucking this up. Like, I'm not doing this right. I think I got in at the right time. And I think my sports career kind of follow my brother quite a bit.
Okay.
In terms of like, well, Riley did it, so I should do it, you know? Or like my parents would think like, oh, Riley enjoys this, Randy might enjoy this, you know? And then Jordan would do the same thing. And that's where rugby came in, right?
Yeah.
Like if Riley didn't do rugby, I wouldn't be here with you guys today.
That's true. It's fair, yeah.
It's absurd to think about, but that butterfly trickle down effect, like if Riley had never played rugby, I would never have gone to Elton because Riley played rugby, then I played rugby, got to know the Elton guys. I was like, oh, maybe I should go to school at Elton. And then here we are.
That's true. That's actually very true. I never
Isn't that
thought
weird?
about that.
Isn't that weird? I'm going to blow your mind even more. Never would have met Beth if Riley never played rugby.
What?
If I never went to Elton, I never would have applied to Peavy Mart. If I didn't
true.
apply to Peavy Mart, I
That's
never
true.
would have talked to
No,
Mary.
Mary
Mary would
introduced
never
me
have
to
hooked us up.
Your entire life is based off
Holy.
sports.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Just a linchpin.
If you go back and think about like certain events that you might have like done,
Yeah.
like it's crazy to think that like, oh, and Riley would never have gone to Elton to play rugby if he hadn't enjoyed, like if his class was he didn't enjoy Rivers, so he went to Elton, and then Elton had a rugby team, so he joined the rugby team, and it's the whole thing.
Oh my
insane.
god.
Isn't that wild?
That's disgusting to even think about. Wow.
But I also did karate growing up. I feel like that's not really like a
I feel
sport.
like everybody did that at some point.
Yeah.
I never did karate.
You never like any martial art?
No, never, not once.
I did taekwondo
Did you?
for like 2 years.
Was there like contact in that?
No.
No. Yeah.
I
Same
would-
with karate.
I would like to get into like a contact sport at some point, like
Yeah.
that kind of thing. I think I'd do that for a workout, like go to a boxing gym.
Yeah, I was
Or,
about
like,
to say boxing seems kind of cool.
Yeah, I was thinking that, man. Like I remember. This is
Fuck it.
stupid.
Let's go do boxing. We'll just
it.
beat each
Hey,
other
Jump
up.
Buggy's
Boom.
boxing match.
First video,
Yeah.
we'll have a serious boxing match.
Yeah, that'd be great. But like with karate, it was less of a team focused thing and more of a like a self improvement type of thing.
Self-discipline.
Yeah. Karate taught me a bunch of self discipline. Like, and I really really enjoyed it, and I think I stuck with it quite a bit longer than a lot of people do. But like, it was just because I felt that I was good at it because the only person I could blame that wasn't doing good or wasn't paying attention was me.
Yeah.
You know. And like I never felt like I was letting anybody else down if I was like not up to par. But like it was just memorization, and it was just like I don't know, general fitness and discipline. Yeah.
I think a lot of those karates becomes down to more of a mental training than even a physical one.
Yeah, totally.
Honestly, like you learn so much just on discipline from martial arts and all that other stuff. Like MMA fighters do the most insane physical things. Period.
Yep.
Like those sweats before they get weighed are insane.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
losing
Yeah.
the water weight. That's horrible.
That's
I would
insane.
never want to go through that in my life.
Yeah, there's that kind of like extreme dedication to a sport.
Oh, for sure.
You know, that's always terrifying. Yeah.
Definitely teaches you a lot, though. I think karate is definitely a good thing for that.
Yeah. And like I had a fantastic senseis. I know that sounds like Cobra Kai when we're talking about it, but like, but that's what it was.
That's what
I had
they're
my
called.
gi. I had everything right.
What belt did you get to?
I got to brown, which was like one before black.
Yeah, that's a big deal, man.
It was a big deal.
That's a pretty big deal.
And then I think Rivers, like the senseis were like they moved like to Brandon. So like I could have kept going, but it was in Brandon, so it was more of a hassle to get there for my parents.
for the parents, yeah.
So I just stopped at Brown. And I feel like if I went in there now, back to white, baby.
Yeah, damn right.
You know?
Start from the beginning.
Start from the beginning. But yeah, like rugby is a huge part of my family. Like obviously.
Yeah.
And obviously that's thanks to Riley, that's thanks to Jordan. But what I appreciate about rugby is that, and I've always said this to people, is that like it's great for any kind of player.
Yeah.
If you're fast or you're big, you know, like there's the two camps. There's the backs and the forwards, right?
Yeah.
And it's nice to be able to fit into a group. Like, I'm not a big guy, so if rugby was only big guys, which I know it is, but like,
Yeah, well, yeah, like professionally.
I can rely on my speed and my dexterity rather than like my strength and my, you know, like vigor.
There's definitely a spot for anyone on the field, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, and I think rugby genuinely is quite an inclusive sport.
Oh,
I think that's one of their main pillars.
I could think of so many things in Elton, like people that we generally would say had like just a shitty time in life or like a shitty upbringing that came to rugby and it was like had
completely
a spot
different.
for them.
Yeah.
I was like they learned a lot and they had like a community for a while.
Yeah, and
I
I
like gave them a good foundation.
And I think that's going back to that like between games thing where like between anything is like in my drama class they're talking about how like usually drama productions the crew and the cast they become a family because they're so like they're sharing such a thing together. And that's a team on anything.
Oh, for sure.
And I think that's really, really important for a lot of people. You know, like a lot of people come to sports because they're like, hey, I'm looking for like-minded people.
Oh,
you know?
for sure. And even just like from Michael moving to Winnipeg, him joining the rugby team up there, a lot of the people that he made friends with was just from the team.
Yeah.
You just meet so many people.
Exactly. And like obviously a lot of people are not athletically inclined. So like it's difficult for them to be like, oh yeah, this is how I'm going to make friends or whatever. But as long as you come out and try, you know, like
nobody can fault you for that.
No,
especially in rugby.
Yeah,
which is it's such a niche. I would consider it pretty niche in Manitoba. But like if you just come out and try, I have never looked at someone different because they didn't know the rules of rugby.
No.
Like never, not once. And I think it's just a super good sport for anyone to come out and play.
Well, and rugby's also still super new in Manitoba too.
Oh yeah, for sure. But hey,
but I'm glad it's on the up and up. Like I feel like obviously I'm more tuned into like rugby because of Jordan and all that
and all of us and your girlfriend and like everything.
Yeah. But like I feel like I notice it more and more nowadays. Like I always be like, oh, people are talking about rugby, you know? Like,
or you see someone walking around with Barb's gear, you're like, fucking,
hey,
let's
fuck
go.
yeah, bud. You know?
I'm excited.
This isn't a rugby podcast, but like, I don't know. It's obviously such like hockey and rugby. I feel like are just the main things that connect a lot of us together. Sure. So I think it's really, really important.
Hockey was probably the first place I really met Noah.
Yeah,
because I would have hung out with him in between tournaments with Mike and Noah or whatever, and I would hang out with your little brother who would play with us as well.
Yeah,
so just super chill.
Hockey was where I first met a lot of people that I would later to go on to school with because I in grade 3 was still going to school in Brandon.
Oh right,
but I was playing hockey out in Forest.
And you lived pretty close to Forest.
Yeah, so. yeah. And then the next year, I would then transfer school to Forest, and I would just be in class with people that I've played hockey with.
Yeah.
Definitely a good thing. Sports are pretty cool.
Sports are pretty cool.
Pretty
like, and I mean, obviously, Noah, you and I don't do sports right now.
Not much.
No. But I don't know. It's interesting because I'll be watching Jordan's games and I'll be like, man, do I want to get back into rugby? You know, like it's so weird because I remember my time in rugby. It wasn't my favorite thing no. That's again one of the soccer, basketball, hockey types where like there's strategy, but it's a very physical game, and I typically get tripped up when I'm thinking physically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like that absolutely happened in rugby. Like if I couldn't catch a ball, I would typically get mad and like wouldn't want to keep playing rugby because I was like, I fucking suck at this or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like when a tennis player misses the thing and they're like, you suck, you know. It's like, no, like calm down.
We had a really good thing. This was when I was learning to play cricket and everything. In the beer league, they super skimmed down rules, but one thing that our team did, we were called the match fixers, is if you ever dropped the ball, then you added $5 to your tab.
Oh, okay.
And so it was difficult because a cricket ball is much harder than a baseball.
Yeah.
And it flies very fast, and you don't have gloves. So it was a huge like paradigm shift for me because I was so used to playing baseball, catching with a glove and everything, and I know that how hard the ball is, so catching it with my bare hands obviously hurt a lot. So I dropped a lot of balls and I ended up owing a lot of money.
Yeah.
And everybody would rag on me for it, but then one time I there was a ball that was going like just over top of my head, just out of my reach. So I jumped up, caught it. Didn't think that I would. Came back down, and everybody lost their shit.
Yep.
And that was such a huge, just inflated my ego and just made me feel like part of the game and everything.
Absolutely.
And it was awesome. We would, me and a bunch of the other guys on the team who are all like dads, like they're all like 40 plus.
Yeah.
They would just go out to like schools that had like little training areas, and they would just teach us how to throw the ball and everything, because it's completely different from a baseball.
Yep.
And just the encouragement of that being like, oh yeah, no, you're getting the hang of it. Now just do this, do this. Yeah, that works. Keep doing that. That was just immensely helpful in just the confidence in the game.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's one of those things, like I haven't played it for 2 years, but I feel like I could still just jump into a beer league game.
Yeah.
It's definitely a culture thing too. When it comes to having teams, like obviously there's cultures where it's like, there's definitely cultures where it's like, if you're bad, it's like, get the fuck out. Like, you suck. And it's just the way it is. Especially like higher competitive teams. Like I'd say in hockey, that's probably a lot more prevalent. Especially like if you play at a high level, or even in like AAA or something like that. It's just like, if you suck, people on the team even are just going to treat you differently.
Yeah. I was about to say, like, especially in Canada, like hockey is something that
Sacred.
you have to keep up with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you fall off, it's not slowing down for you at all.
No.
And there's very few ways of getting back into it. Like at like my skill level, I feel like can only be applied to beer league or like pickup games
Yeah.
and something.
Yeah.
There's no way for me to, no amount of training or anything that I can do right now to up my experience, up my skill, to go and jump into whatever league that there is for people my age. There's no way for me to get onto that.
No.
That is something that you have to stick with from the beginning and stay on until you get to that area.
Yeah.
And there's like, especially in Canada, it's like everyone can do the basics of hockey, it feels like. But like a lot of the friends that I have from school are like big into hockey. Like they'll play, one of them plays in the WHL, another one in the QMJ and stuff like that. So like, and occasionally we'll go for like a skate in the winter. And it's like, even then I notice it's just like, yeah, I'm nowhere near the level I need to be.
No.
Yeah.
Or the mindset or anything like that, right? And even not even adding contact into the thing, because those guys are dogs. They're like,
Yeah.
I love them, but like, goddamn, you can chill out on the contact, guys. You're good.
I think all it takes for, and like obviously I won't name names, but like all it takes is one fucking person that's taking it too seriously. That's high. Obviously they're a good player, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
But all it takes is one of them. That's why I stopped playing rugby, is because one fucking guy would not teach. Well, he wasn't. He was complaining rather than teaching.
Oh, this is so judgmental. That's the worst type of person you
It's
can be,
awful.
especially as a leader.
It's terrible for my not just my confidence, anybody's confidence. To be honest with you, like I know a lot of people have that thick skin and they expect that in a sport. Like they expect like, oh, you're shit, man. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, like
It chips away at you.
it really does. And like,
And mindset is everything, man.
yes.
Especially in sports. Like
Yeah.
literally everything.
Speaking of, like, again, back to King Richard last night, there was it was Venus Williams against like the number one player of the world in tennis, and that player, the number one player, lost the first set. So she was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom or whatever, and she just like iced her for like 10 minutes. So basically, like, stayed in the bathroom for 10 minutes and just let Venus like stand on the court by herself, like really get in her head and overthink things. And like some people say that's why like she lost the match overall. But mindset is such an important thing. Like if you're having an off day and you go into a sports game, it's not happening. It's not happening.
Well, even with back to volleyball, like when I first started out, I had such a mindset of like, I haven't played this sport in a long time. Like I'm super uncomfortable, just generally worried about other things because I was just like meeting all these new people and I'm trying to be good because it's like a higher level than what I played before.
Yep.
But once I got comfortable, it was like I felt more natural or more just like generally okay with how I was playing. You know what I mean? And even then, like still, especially at a college level, it's like still sometimes my confidence takes a hit. Like I'll fuck up something. I'll be like, man,
Yeah.
what am I doing?
Yeah.
But then like
It's over.
it's over. Like God.
Yeah.
Or like I'll just have a shit practice where my serves aren't going in. But like come in the next day and all of a sudden I'm just doing the most out, like just doing things that I was like, wow, well, fucking let's go.
Yep.
Like literally I had one practice where just decided I could spin serve randomly, and I just have not remembered how to do it since. And I was just hitting bombs. I was like, let's go. And I keep trying to do it, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, reset. It's okay. But, like, obviously, like little things like that. It's just mindset of that. Or even you look at someone like, this is definitely weird, I guess.
No, go for it.
Topic, but, like, you look at someone like Mike Tyson or something like that. His mindset was outrageous.
Yeah.
Or Kobe Bryant. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the greats always had the most insane mindset of I am the best and I will always be the best.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have that mindset, if you don't adopt some of that mindset of like you got to be confident and somewhat cocky sometimes, and it's like it feels hard to get ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You definitely got to think you're better than other people to play better in your mind.
Yeah, it's the confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And sometimes people are more confident, so they just think they're gonna dick on everyone. But
And I think that was my problem growing up, was that I didn't have that confidence. And like obviously that I feel like that's something that sports can show you as well, is how to get that confidence.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like you can teach a kid the skills. The kid can write the handbook on how to play lacrosse or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't have that confidence, it's not happening.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
No.
You know?
And I think that's a big thing. I don't want to sound like cocky or anything, but I would generally say like on rec teams, I guess you would feel the same way. It was like we felt like leaders generally, as like, because like we played in the same team for so long, it was so comfortable and knew everyone, that when new kids came in or someone was coming in to try out the sport or like just generally joined, I kind of tried to adopt the mindset of not being mean to them about it.
Yeah.
It's like if they're messing up, it's like, okay, try this. I already, like, I used to do that all the time. Like,
Yeah.
and then I tried this and it worked for me.
It's just it's a tryout. You're just meant to try.
Yeah.
You don't have to excel or be good. So long as you're still trying, then that's the whole point of why you're here.
I think, yeah, with sports, it's so expectation based. Like, if you go in with the right expectation, you're going to have a fun time. You might have a confident time, right?
Yeah.
But if Johnny McGee is expecting you to be the best.
I fucking hate Johnny.
Oh,
McGee,
my God,
dude.
he's the
What a
worst.
dick.
Asshole.
But if he's expecting you to stop every shot on goal,
Yeah.
guess what, buddy? It's not happening, you know? Like, and then I feel like the expectations that other people may have on you can really just chip you down, right?
Oh, so many times I've seen someone doing really, really good,
Mm-hmm.
and they mess up one thing, and then one person on the team's like, "Oh, I can't believe you did that,"
Oh.
and then just their whole performance just tanks.
It's the
because,
worst thing,
like,
man.
That is just in their head now.
Yeah.
That's definitely a thing. I think in sports and just in general.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, what I'm talking about is not specific just to sports.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, if you could be fucking driving and somebody's like, what are you doing? Or like, if somebody's like critiquing your driving, you're like, what the fuck, man? Like,
Or someone just says a comment and you just get in your head about it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Like someone says something random like, "Oh, you really always drive like this?" Like, for
Yeah,
example,
yeah.
And then you're like, "Am I a shit driver?"
Yeah, you start just like rethinking everything you've ever done.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
And it just fucks with you.
mhm.
It's so dumb, but it's like the thing we definitely do.
And I think it's super amplified in sports, though. Like,
Oh.
I think
Oh, yeah.
sports is such a perfect breeding ground for that problem.
Well, it's such a comparison, right?
Yeah.
Because like you can still be on the same team as everybody, but you're still always going to be comparing yourself to someone else's abilities.
yes.
So especially if someone's abilities are greater than yours and they're talking down on you,
Mm.
then it's going to be like, oh shit, this person knows what they're talking about, and they are calling me out on something that I thought I was doing well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Clearly, I am in the wrong.
Yeah.
I still remember I did a tryout for sevens for rugby. And I won't name names, obviously, but like I was playing and we were doing a drill where we just had to pass to each other or whatever. And we finished, and I think the person or the coach or whatever is like, "Randy, you threw a muffin." And like I was like, "Yeah, I know, I'm sorry."
Probably yawn.
No. But I'll tell you after. But like I don't know. But and I feel like the last few minutes I feel like have been like kind of negative on sports, but like sports can be a fantastic thing.
Oh,
man.
they're great. Yeah.
Oh my
It
God,
is.
get that adrenaline pumping and like Noah, you were just talking about that one catch. You know what I'm talking about? Like when you're
Yes.
playing. Yeah.
Oh,
I feel like everybody's got that story that they remember.
Highlights, dude.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
the
You
best
got your
part.
ESPN top 10 of the week. You know what I mean?
Just think
Everybody
about 'em.
has some story where they were the main character.
Yeah.
Oh,
Everybody has stories
in
like
rugby,
that.
man, there's times I could think about now. Even like it was literally U14, the game before I got talked to go to Calgary.
Yeah.
I kicked the ball and chased it down and scored it myself, and I felt like a badass. I was like,
Yeah.
let's fucking go. And then literally right after that, I was like, you want to come to Calgary on Team Manitoba? I was like, fucking yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously that's, like, something even now I think about and get adrenaline just thinking about it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And
No.
I think everyone has those moments.
Oh, absolutely.
Sports allow those Gatorade get hype moments. You know what I mean?
Gatorade get hype.
That's my favorite thing.
That's
It's my favorite thing. Like even just for me, like there was a time when we were playing. I think it was Sabres versus somebody on home field. School was there or whatever, and like I wasn't amazing at rugby. I need to make that clear. I was not great. So I was fullback, right? So I was sitting at the back of the pack. Kick goes all the way towards
I
me.
remember this.
And I'm like, and everybody's like kind of groaning because it's just me. And I was very notorious for not being able to catch a fucking ball. So ball above my head, I jump up, or not even jump up, I just extend my arms all the way up and it just slides into my hands. I bring it down. I'm like, oh shit. I was shocked. And then the crowd just like erupted.
Yes,
like,
I remember this.
Yeah.
Oh, we were going ballistic.
Because they didn't expect it from Lil Ran, you know what I mean? And then I was like, what do I do with this? So it's like, go,
run! Everybody was yelling, go, Ran! Come on!
Yeah, it was huge, man.
Oh, it's so awesome.
But like, yeah, I think those moments, you know, like tripping up a kid and mucking up his leg is a moment for me where I'm just like, this is like, everybody's like getting like excited and it's like, yes, Randy, that's amazing, you know, like.
Fuck, I had one, this was back in rec league, just when I was like actually like confident in myself that I was quick, I could move.
Mm-hmm.
We had a play in our end and the puck went shooting down to the opposing side.
Yep.
So everybody was going to call it not offside, icing.
Mm-hmm.
So the play would get taken back to us, but like the puck was slightly moving. There was one defenseman that was kind of like half skating because that's what people do just to bring the puck back. So I just started fucking booking it and like quickly catching up to the defenseman. I can hear like everybody on their bench like telling this defenseman to start hauling ass. And like I got to the end before the puck touched the boards, before it was icing and everything. So just brought the entire play to their end because I was just like, yeah, I can beat the puck there.
You had the willpower.
Yeah.
You know.
And just hearing like just the opposing team freaking out that I was like trying to go for this.
Yeah.
Just
euphoric.
Oh yeah.
Honestly.
I still think about it and like I'll still get
guy.
Bumps and stuff thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like you were that guy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it was. Yeah. There's a few.
You got another one, Brad?
I always got
Should be one more and then we'll finish this up.
Okay. You know what? I got two, but I'll do one that's probably a little better. There was a basketball game in high school.
Mm.
The other one was just me absolutely trucking someone in rugby, but it's like whatever.
Okay, yeah.
But like it was a basketball game versus McGregor to go to provincials right before COVID hit.
Yeah.
So provincials ended, it didn't end up happening, but it doesn't really fucking matter. We would have lost anyways. But it was like the last 2 minutes, and it's like we were down 6 points, I think. And so what ended up happening is I get the ball like passed to me because they're pressing the court, and I go up, shoot the three, boom, bang, ESPN moment right there,
yes,
right?
Sir.
And so I'm like in the height of the game, I keep myself calm or whatever, and then we go back and we get another play. We get the ball back on a turnover because somebody was playing good defense. I don't remember what it was. And this isn't even my play, but it's just so exciting. Basically what happened is we called a timeout, and like my coach drew up this big play. It's like, Brad, you set a screen here, and it was like literally like a movie moment where it was like this person goes here,
10 seconds left on the clock.
10 seconds left on the clock, and you gotta and it was like the whole crowd, everyone was like on their toes, like people started taking videos at the end, and it's like I set this screen and we make this play, and like he fakes the pass one way and then pushes it out this way, and then one of my teammates, Quentin Kitson, hits the most clutch three in the world, like from the corner, fading away, contested to make the shot and win the game. And it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I think it got posted on a few different Instagram sites. It was like one of those like, holy shit.
It's a Gatorade get hype moment, bro.
I got the video on my phone, and it was awesome. And people were just freaking out. So that's definitely a moment that I'm like, this is hype. I still text him every once in a while. I'm like, do you remember that time you made that shot? And he's like, this game didn't matter at all for anything, but it was like, it's just so exciting.
It was still it's still just one of those things that you remember.
Yeah.
It could have happened years ago, but it's just something that like pops into the head. And it's like, oh yeah, that happened, and I felt really good about it.
No, Quentin literally looked like a goat, man. He looked like Kobe Bryant out there. Everyone was freaking out. Loved it.
Oh yeah.
I'm so excited for him.
You know how I've talked about like how like a lot of my hobbies are centered around stories.
Yeah.
I'm not a sports guy. I feel confident saying that. Like, I've played sports, but I'm not a sports guy that's actively enthusiastic about sports. But it is such a great conduit for stories.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's so fantastic for, like, I remember this one time, like, you may not understand rugby, so I'll make it super simplified for you. Like, I caught the ball, and there was 2 very big dudes running at me, so I just lied down. I didn't know what to do, like, and that's a story, and I think that's
Well,
it's
even
really interesting.
in the good and the bad amount of stories is so funny too.
Oh my God, the bad stories are hilarious. You know what I mean?
This is what my mom teased me about. We were playing basketball again versus Nepal, and we were losing. And the ball fell out of someone's hands and like hit their foot, and I was diving for it.
Yep.
And as I hit the floor, someone's legs were there.
Ooh.
And I was just playing rugby the day before, so I grabbed his legs and fucking wrapped them and tackled him to the floor. And my mom and dad are sitting from the sideline just laughing their ass off. I think another person that's like on the rugby team or involved was like, "Wrong sport, Brad." I'm like, "I'm so sorry."
Well, that kid
I'm
goes to the fucking
apologizing to this
hospital.
kid. The kid's just like super mad at me. Didn't say a word to me. I'm
You
like,
just
"Dude,
dumped him on his ass.
I'm sorry, dude. Wrong sport."
Got to turn it off.
Oh yeah. And bad moments.
There's
Well,
always
like,
a few.
Some of them are just fun to like look back on. Just like, yeah, no, I was
Randy
fucking
getting
dumb.
pantsed in rugby, that was a pretty good one.
Did I get pants?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember that.
Bare ass to the stands.
No, it wasn't bare
I
ass.
swear
Suppressed
to
the
God.
memory.
I don't remember this.
Seriously?
That happened to Waylon. That didn't
Was
happen
it
to me.
Waylon?
Yeah.
Okay, it
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
you.
No.
Maybe that's
No.
my bad. I remember a bare ass facing the stands for sure, though.
Nobody see my ass.
Nobody see Randy's
Nobody see
ass.
my ass.
Not my ass. Man.
I remember
That did happen though. That was funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
I remember in rec, I one time scored on our own goalie.
Oh yeah.
I was probably up by the circles, and there was somebody chasing me, but I was trying to do like the whole wraparound, but he was catching up to me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna shoot the puck behind the net, and then it's gonna come around the other side.
No.
Shot the puck straight into the net.
It was like, ah.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Does that count?
It definitely counted.
Smell like tweet.
Oh, I felt like dog shit.
Yeah,
But, like-
like wreck, man. You would have got in the game.
Oh,
Like, you're
yeah.
an idiot.
You're
man.
a fucking idiot. I think we ended up losing that game too, so it's just
Like, oh no.
But that's I don't know, man. Like, with time, all wounds will heal, and you can look back on those wounds and be like, "That was pretty fucking funny."
That was
can't think-
hilarious.
That makes a great story.
I can't think of a bad sports memory where I'm like, I can't believe I did that. Still, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't. Well, there's always those cringe moments, but when you say
Yeah.
those cringe moments to other people, they're like, "Those fucking
That's
they're
hilarious.
terrible."
Like,
Yeah,
you-
yeah.
I still get embarrassed about tackling the guy on basketball, but
Yeah.
obviously it's fucking hilarious.
I still cringe at the time that the other team was awarded a penalty try because I accidentally wrapped my hand around somebody's throat, and like,
Ready to, fucking
and
die.
ref saw it, and he was like, "Randy," and I'm like, "Ah."
I don't know what came.
I
over
don't. Honestly, I got no excuse, bro. Like, that's my bad.
Keep going after it, dude. That's
Oh.
hilarious.
So good. So that's our chat about sports, guys.
I like sports. Sports are fun.
Honestly, I feel like we could talk for another hour. You know what I mean?
There's so many
broad.
stories.
Yeah.
So broad.
It's so good, man. Like it's such a great, like I said, it's a great conduit for stories. But we do gotta wrap this up because Brad's got to go play sports,
I do have to go to volleyball practice.
and Noah's got to go work out,
I do.
Look at us being athletic and shit.
and
Let's
I gotta go home
baby.
and
Play video games.
play video games.
Fuck
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. That's a sport now, right?
Yeah.
I'll keep
Esports,
telling myself. I'll
esports.
keep telling
Esports,
yeah.
baby.
No, I'll go to the gym tonight too. No, how about that?
There you
How
go.
about
There you go.
Fuck yeah, guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna be all.
We'll make a
being
competition
athletic.
out of it.
that? Yeah. I only run, so
Oh shit.
Just gonna be on the treadmill.
I'm a-
I,
I'm on
fucking, I
treadmiller.
don't run.
No?
No, my cardio sucks.
Oh. That's what I'm doing, is trying to improve my cardio. Anyway, that's besides the point. We're gonna wrap this up, but thank you. Oh shit, the thank yous, the outro.
Thank you.
Oh
Yep,
shit.
Still got to do that.
Yeah, man. So first up, Daniel Mosionier. Guess what? Absolute homie. He's been doing this stuff for free, editing our podcast, creating music for our podcast.
Goated, man.
He puts in a lot of hours of work
yeah,
on
he
our
does,
stuff, and we really appreciate it. So thank you, Dan. Next up, I want to thank the Creation Nation Makerspace, baby. They have a cool space down on Rosser, and it's pretty cool. They make, they space, they do it all. They create
space making.
Space. They make space.
Space making place.
Yep. And everybody's always saying the galaxy is expanding. It's because we're making space right here.
Yeah, right here in the Creation Nation making space.
Right, it's pretty crazy, man. You can check out the link to that in the description below. But like, yeah, they got training for all the stuff they do here. Like, you don't just have to walk in here and not know what to do. Yep. They got people that will show you what to do, and it's fantastic. It's so cool. And then obviously I want to thank the viewer and / listener. You know, like. Last week I obviously got a little nostalgic, little sentimental about like the fact that like people have actually been watching this stuff.
People listen to
and
us,
like
man.
we have a
It's
genuine
weird.
number that we can show people and be like, hey, yeah, people listen to this, believe it or
I'm proud of
not.
this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna show my kids this one day. Like, yeah, on a podcast.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, Brad, you said too many dick jokes.
Wow.
Shit.
You know what? You made it this
Wow,
entire
Grandpa.
podcast without making one, so I'm really proud of you.
Think about that.
I don't know what Cassie's gonna put in the comments now.
No,
Yeah.
There was
There's
at
no
one point he said, "Are you
anticipated
shitting my dick?"
He did
That's
say
good,
that.
right off the bat.
If anything, I said a bad joke because I was playing with Brad's court
Oh
at
yeah.
one point. I
Yeah.
don't know if you
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah.
There's a few.
How could I
There's a
forget?
few.
Okay.
How could I forget?
I'm a fill-in for Brad. Yeah, so yeah, thank you very much for listening to our podcast. It's stupid, it's fun, we're having a good time, and we're gonna keep having a good time.
Yeah.
I
I've
tell you
actually
what.
been dancing this entire podcast.
Yeah. You wouldn't tell. You wouldn't be able to
no
tell.
Video. I could
No.
tell them I was
No
doing
video.
whatever I said I was doing.
Say
I've been
whatever I
doing
want.
backflips the whole time.
Noah and I have been playing chess this entire time.
Yeah.
Guess what? Checkmate, bitch.
Check again.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Whoa.
Thank you very much for listening, everybody. We're gonna see you in the next 2 weeks. Goodbye.
I'll see you guys
Farewell.
later.